17 straight games, Bryce Harper has reached base. You guys talk about Tatis and say he's the guy you want to watch. It is this man for me, Bryce Harper. And even though he's all out at the plate, D-Ro, patience is a virtue for him.
100%. Listen, let's dive into it. This is a two-time MVP, 8-time All-Star, Silver Sluggers for days. But there's a lot of moving parts in Bryce's swing, okay? He's got the leg kick. He's got the toe tap. He's got the dropping of the head. It takes a minute, but when it starts to sync up, you get one of the best players in the game. And I went back and read a lot of his comments over the weekend, him talking about almost 2 weeks ago against the Braves. He turned to Kevin Long. He's like, I'm starting to have better at-bats. I'm starting to walk a little bit more. That bled into the St. Louis series, which bleeds into the Giants. And now all of a sudden, Sandy Alcantara leaves something 0-2, and it's second deck. So I want to take you through it a little bit. Let's get into it. A little love session on B. Harper right here. One of my favorite players in the game. Dangerous, lives for the moment. Number 3, built to be on the big stage. I just want to take you through, pause this real quick. Bring up the one board we have on him, the OPS leaders. Just kind of dissect this. OPS plus leader since the start of 2021. Pretty good. Judge, Ohtani, Soto, Alvarez, Harper. I mean, you can make the argument they're the top 5 hitters in the game. I'm sure you can throw some other guys in there as well. Off the top of my head, I can't think, but boom, they're in. So I want to start you back. Believe it's April 8th against the Braves. Yes, take you through. First at bat against Chris Sale. Run this. 2 strikes on him, and he chases a nasty slider away from Chris Sale. Okay? Everyone's done that. But next AB, he comes to the plate. He chases it again. Pause. So what does he tell himself? You got to give to get. Sometimes you got to give away an AB to kind of recalibrate. What do I mean by that? He has to prove to himself that he can spit on that pitch. Otherwise, he's going 0 for 4 against a guy like this. So he has to tell himself to stay back, let the ball get deeper, and start to find where the strike zone is, okay? Run this. He's expecting probably another slider. And he gets a heater, middle cut, reaction. Run this back for me real quick. And he's able to stay back on this because he's eliminated pull because he's so worried about the slider, and he shoots it the other way. Now you get on first and you start to breed some confidence, right? Okay, if I could do that against Chris Sale, let's go. But later on in the game, leading off against Dylan Lee, run that pitch back for me real quick. Pause it. 2-0 count leverage, so he's on a heater. He's trying to go deep right here, and he chases just a little bit off. Run it. Grounds out to second base. These are the most frustrating ABs. He's running down to first base, wanting to throw his helmet into the stands. But what does he do the next night? He gets another shot at Dylan Lee. This is an unbelievable at-bat. Slider away, he swings at, he's going out there again. 0-2, he's going out there again. Spits on it. You're going to challenge heater? Gets away with one. So pause this. Dylan Lee almost got shot right there in a 1-2 count, and he knows it. So right here, he's going slider down the way again. See if he fishes. Run it. Uh-oh, Bryce is starting to see it. Bryce is starting to see it. Now I'm fouling it off. Don't you dare throw a heater and try and cheat. Boom, got him. Okay, so now Bryce is starting to really have an idea where those 17 inches are against left-handed sliders. Fast forward, here he is against St. Louis, Matthew Liberatore. He thinks he's got that. He thinks he went Oppo homer. But all these ABs are starting to build on themselves. So you have to know he's going to get scorching hot coming off those ABs, and that's exactly what happened. They came home, he gets in a friendly confines of Citizens Bank Park, and it's game on. He is able to eliminate sides of the field, Robbie Ray, turn and burn, and then 0-2 against Sandy Alcantara. Oh, game on. So this is who he is. Give me a side angle. Talk about moving parts. We're going to run through this real quick. Just run through it. I want people to see it home, and then we'll bring it back after the point of contact. Now run that back for me. Talk about moving parts all the way back, Set him up, yeah. Okay. We talk about this. I played with Bryce when he was 19 years old. We talk about this with hitting. Bryce is a guy who likes to start here. He's got a lot of things going on, but when it syncs up, he ducks his head, this gets down. What I love about him, and kids at home can take something from this. If you start up here and you sink, you better stay into your sink because you can't have your head bobbing up and down. You can't start here, come down, and then as you hit, the ball will start bouncing on you. So watch him. Run this. Pause. Now he's going to stay there. That head is, his vision's not moving. I got him. It's not going to go up anymore. Run this. Oh. When it syncs up and he's right, man, he gets hot as anybody in the game. But I just love how he said he was making a couple outs and he was making the adjustments off tough pitching, and it led to monster success.
Easter Monday on the Inside Corner, JP Morosi, and it was a very special weekend for Liam Hendriks. Good morning to you. I spoke to him at spring, and at the time it had been 600 and some days since he had been on a big league mound. What did he say about the journey to get to this point? It's been a long one and a rewarding one at that.
It certainly has been, Lorna, and good morning. With Liam Hendriks, he always is great about sharing gratitude, about being in the major leagues and those who have helped him along the way. And certainly you think about all that went into him getting back on the mound yesterday, Fenway Park, the scene and the return. As you point out, it was his first time in the major leagues since June of 2023, as he describes it. The long and arduous journey. Of course, arm surgery was the most recent thing that he came back from. We know well his courageous battle with cancer, and just to get back on the mound, you really get a sense, Lauren, when you talk about Liam Hendriks and listen to him speak, he is one of the most beloved teammates in baseball, someone who has always represented the game so well, always looked for ways to lift others up. And then you see what he was able to do coming back from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and the way that the game has embraced him coming back. And you saw it there on your screen, the long and arduous journey. I think certainly Liam Hendriks is someone who teaches us and everyone who knows his story about the importance of being grateful for every day in the big league. So welcome back, Liam, and all the best of success here to come.
I can't imagine how many times he thought about taking the ball for the very first time after that stretch. Wow, congratulations to him. The game is better with him in it. There's bullpen concerns, JP, around the majors. I always wonder if it's just the cold and the rain and the April and it's too soon to kind of jump to conclusions, or there's more to it. What's your take?
I would say the latter, Lauren, especially when you're talking about two of the very best in the game right now, Emmanuel Clase in Cleveland and Devin Williams with the Yankees. Let's start with Clase. He's someone who, as we just saw in the last segment, gave up and surrendered the runs that led to extra innings. Of course, the Guardians were able to eventually triumph, but 2 blown saves now, and there you see it, an ERA up above 7, and then Devin Williams having his own struggles. And I think the part about Clase's situation that makes it more notable, Lauren, is we saw this last year in the postseason against the Yankees. And perhaps is it a matter of his stuff not being quite as sharp? You see he's still striking out some batters, walking a number of them. To me, the number that jumps out there with Clase is the opposing batting average. It used to be that he was simply unhittable. No longer the case. And with Devin Williams, we hear so much about the airbender changeup, as it's known. And I think a really interesting story from Brian Hoke at MLB.com about how Williams perhaps going to the changeup even more often than usual, but it's not as effective as has typically been the case, and certainly giving up 4 earned runs in his last time out. So this talks, Lauren, about what you're describing, the difficulty in this job. It is a zero-sum game. Either you get the save or you don't. And so far, 2 of the very best to do it in the major leagues, having some early season struggles for teams that are really counting on them here in 2025.
April is the time to work through things, and we are confident they will. JP, we were looking in the commercial break at video of Chandler Simpson, and the speed, you're shaking your head. If you were to both start a 50-yard dash, where would you be when he finished, JP?
Oh, it'd be like watching, you know, the freeze in Atlanta when the freeze like laps the guy who's running? That's Chandler Simpson against me or any other mortal, Lauren, because if you blink, you're going to miss the great Chandler Simpson, a graduate of the MLB Develops program. So he's grown up in this system, the ability for him to play ball and get to Georgia Tech. And now just look at that stolen base skill that you saw a moment ago, rounding the bases, a double there to left field. I think for me, Lauren, one of my favorite stories about Chandler Simpson, I visited recently with the great Danny Hall, who is retiring as the head coach at Georgia Tech, where Chandler played his college baseball. And there you see it, 70 grade hit and 80 grade run. That's top of the scale. No one better. And Danny Hall, Lauren, told me the story about Chandler Simpson scoring from second base on a sacrifice fly. I'll repeat that. He scored from second on a sac fly. And it wasn't one of those where the center fielder landed over the fence. It was a deep fly ball, but still, sacrifice fly. And he scores from second base. So Chandler Simpson, one of my favorite players to watch. I had a chance to watch him at the Premier 12 there in November at the Tokyo Dome. I said to myself, remember this name. We'll see him in the show. He makes it there before the end of April. Again, don't blink. You might miss that graduate of the MLB Develops program.
Your eye goes right to him. He's moving on every pitch. JP Morosi on the Inside Corner. Happy Monday to you. Thank you so much.